Guys, welcome back to JR14. Here we are with another video for today. Now, this is the moment that you guys have all been waiting for, which is finally I got my EQT Pro Maps, my custom mapping, my Pro Tune, whatever you want to call it. Right now, we're going to flash the car. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and change map. And please wait while access port identifies ECU. Please wait while map files are loaded. And then we're going to go to the EQT Litco L500 1.01, 93 high pressure fuel pump, 4-par, put, launch control, traction control, no lift shift, and burble and sport. It's all labeled here. It's at night, the roads are a little bit more clear at night because I have to do data log pulls. And it's just very important that I do it at nighttime. Why'd I do EQT? First of all, let's talk about the email that I got. The initial email when you get an EQT Pro Tune, don't worry about the bells and stuff. It's literally the car doing its thing. But literally with the EQT, I actually got an introductory email from Nick. Nick Turner. He's new at Equilibrium Tuning. Don't worry if he's new or not. Ed's taught him everything that Ed knows. And everything is going to be everything, so I'm not really too concerned about it. But Nick is actually gave me an introductory. He gave me pretty much an introduction of what I should be doing. One, make sure that there's no codes, make sure that there's no faults with the car. Now, the 2000 to 6500 in third gear with the traction control off is completely normal. That's a normal thing of what a tuner will require from you. But what's actually unique about EQT, they actually asked me if we need you to do a couple things first. Right now, like I said, I started the car already. You guys didn't see that. I started the car. They got the new tune on here. I'm just letting the car idle and warm up and get the, the temperature going. Once I do that, they actually want me to give them a data log of just the car idling. And then after that, they want me to send them a data log of me doing normal driving. So I'm probably going to do cruising freeway driving. That's roughly around 3 to 4 minutes. That's what Nick required for me to send him. They also sent me a data log pre-checklist. So things that they want to actually check off. Nick wanted me to go ahead and also he wanted me to upload the checklist for data log parameters that he wants to look at while he's tuning the car, which is absolutely great. I've never had a tuner. I didn't know that you can just simply take a data log list and upload it and it automatically sets your files for that. I never knew that. So we're actually going to go do that now. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and do each one. I'm going to talk you through each one on the other cameras here. I need my phone for other stuff, so I'm not going to be utilizing it here. But, and then also you're going to see the RPMs, and I'm going to talk you guys through it. So without further ado, let's go get this list on. Let's get the data log pre-checklist done. Let's get the car warmed up, and then let's go ahead and start data logging with Equilibrium Tuning. So excited, so hyped. So let's go. All right, one thing I do notice, I don't know if it's just because it's got to learn, and the car just kept shutting off on its own. No warning lights or anything like that. I just left a couple blocks from my house, but I'm not too sure. Backfiring. Well, then let's see if we can get up to temperature. Now I spoke to Ed about the the fact that I want a stock fuel controller. He said that's fine. So eventually I'm going to have to upgrade, which is fine. I spoke to guys, Geo and everyone in the shop. We'll set that up. I already know where I would mount it. A little incognito so you can't even tell, and a place where it won't overheat and get hot. Yeah, what happens if I put it in sport? I'm just curious. Oh my God. That is loud. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yo! That is freaking loud as oh my God. Like, that's louder. So, okay, so Unicorn Motor Developments or other tuners go like blah, 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 blah. This is just, if I get on it, it's like this. I wonder if it's actually shooting fire. I'm curious. almost to the spot now. It's a nice long straight. It's very smooth. Really not too worried about it. All right, we're gonna do the data log pulls first. Let's turn off traction control. Traction control is fully turned off. All right, so I'm just slowing down here for a second. All right, 2,000 RPM, we're here, and go. Nothing. Oh wow, it's dead. Okay. Well, I know it's dead down low, like for sure. I want to do another pull, just to be sure. Appreciate it, man. Everyone wants to run tonight. No, 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 no. I'm behaving myself. I'm on the base flash. I can't do anything. I'm gonna do another pull right now, really quickly. Move over here so I can give myself enough space. 3, 2, 1, go. It's dead. This is definitely a base map. It's dead down here. You know, me just taking it for granted. So I will let Nick know that when I send him the data logs tonight. But yeah. But I just want to let you guys know that this was the initial process of the data logs. If you did like this video, make sure that you go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to JR14. And you guys always remember that cars are a lifestyle. Don't worry, next time you see this tune, I'm not going to send you every data log. I'm not going to film every single data log for you guys. I'm actually going to go ahead and finish the data logging process off camera. And then once we get on camera, I'll give you my first driving impressions of the finalized tune and then everything else. But I hope that you guys did like this video, and I'll talk to you guys later. All right, guys. So we're finally done with the tune. Now, there's a few things that we're definitely going to talk about because we have to talk about them. And it's some good information for you guys too to know. So let's start the car up and let's go for a quick drive. All right, so finally done with the EQT tune, right? It's finally done. Let's talk about some things. Let's talk about the longevity of how long it took, right? I started this tune probably in March, and now it's October, mid-October at that. Boost season's here, race season's over. Now, again, first of all, I want to make that disclaimer. It has nothing to do with EQT. It's not EQT's fault. It's actually my fault. Because one of the things that they definitely tell you in the beginning of all the whole process of doing the tune and the e-filing and the data logging is that the car has to be in tip-top shape. You know, things can't be, things can't go wrong while you're doing the data log because it's time consuming and they have other cars to tune. So there was a number of different issues that happened with the car, and it has nothing to do with EQT's fault. Again, like I said, it's my fault. The first being, well, the first one has to do with EQT a little bit, which is the bar sensors. So the first tune that I did, I just noticed that every time I came to a stop or the RPMs came down, it either got really low or the car just kept stalling out. And I'm like, okay, well, why does the car keep stalling out? Like every single time I come to a stop, or if I rev the car up and I bring the RPMs back down to 0, I bring them back down to 1, where it's idling, it wants to stall itself out. And Nick fixed that really quickly, which was the bar sensors. The tune wasn't calibrated for upgraded bar sensors, which I told him in the beginning that it did have upgraded bar sensors in the car. That was an easy, just to type away at the computer, send me another log, car idle fine. Now, the second issue that happened was revolving the spark plugs. So even though these are new spark plugs, I was running the wrong gap. The car was fine from revision like 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now within 5, 6, and sometimes in 7, I kept having misfire issues, and it was so annoying. And I'm like, why am I having misfire issues? I do my spark plugs myself. I got them to 0.24 like every other Volkswagen does, right? Wrong. So with these, since I'm running a high boost, on which I'm running high boost in the car, the boost blows the spark out. So it causes a misfire right after 5,500 RPM. So every time I did an accelerator run for a data log, 5,500 RPM to like around 7,000 RPM, it's around that range, misfire. EPC light comes on, check engine light flashing because random misfire. Never a good day, right? After that was resolved, I took the spark plugs out. They looked good. I put them back in. I gapped them out down to 0.020. Went out for my next data log. Car was fine. So I was like, awesome, great, we can proceed. The next issue that happened, well, it wasn't an issue. It was something that was planned anyway, and that was doing this wrap on my car. Shout out to BJ from Pincoat Rapid in Oceanside, New York. He did this wrap. It took about 3 weeks because it's a very technical design, and he really there's a lot of different layers that go into it. So definitely he was able to resolve that for me in 3 weeks. So that delayed me back some. So after that, you know, we're good to go. We're driving, you know, we're driving the car, we're doing data logs, and I'm continuing the data log. Now the other issue that comes into play was my fuel controller. So now my fuel controller went. This was at around revision 9 or 10. No, it was definitely revision 8 or 9. And I'm like, okay. So now, you know, obviously the fuel controller got too hot. I did data logs on the way, sending him data logs on the way to Georgia to visit my girlfriend's family. So I had to pretty much stop that. I couldn't, you know, I had to wait for a PM4 controller to come to the house. I had to order one. So the fuel controller was fried. It was done. And now I had to figure out a new solution for that. So now once I got the PM4, had to install the PM4, and then I had to have Nick recalibrate the tune to accept PM4. So I was like, all right, cool. Let's continue to tune to get this done. Was there any more problems? Of course there was. And as you guys know, the most recent issue that I've had was with my transmission blowing second gear. You know, so obviously I could have did the data logs, but I obviously, well, I couldn't. Let me stop. You can't do the data logs because literally the car was not, it was disabled. I could not drive the car at all. It took me about a couple weeks to find a trans, buy the trans, get the trans installed. Then I had to put a new clutch in the car because, as you guys know, I'm running a BFI clutch in the car now. I deal with BFI. I don't have DCAM anymore, and I don't deal with DCAM anymore. So now it comes down to, now I have to break in that clutch, which is another 750 miles. And I don't drive the car as much as I used to, so putting that type of mileage on the car is extremely difficult. So it took me about a few weeks to get that mileage done, to break it in properly and everything else. And then finally we come to a close of where the tune was actually completed. So now that's the good thing. I'm extremely happy with the result of the clutch, right? I'm really happy with what I have. It's been great. It's been wonderful. I have no issues. However, there are some issues. Well, there's not issues, but the one thing that I found is, as far as a con, two things that I found as a con with tuning with EQT. One of them was the price. Compared to everyone else who tunes GTIs for a Pro Tune, it's extremely expensive. So I spent about $700. I have burbles in sport mode, no lift shift. I have a Lico L500, so that was an additional $100. So $600 for a Pro Tune, 93, no E85. And yeah, I basically had to do that. That's what I had to do. And I'm like, well, damn. So now I got to figure out. So it's $700 because I have an aftermarket turbo in the car and I'm not running this. If you do have an EQT Vortex turbo, then that price will not go up. It will be $600 for you. Doing that and dealing with that, you know, now I have to realize, okay, well, now what am I supposed to do? So now I got the car tuned for that. But now if I want to run MPI and a blend of like maybe E30, E40 blend to, you know, to dial out some of the other knock, that's going to cost me an additional $400 plus an additional $100. I think this part I might be wrong about, but an additional $100 to run everything, meaning running an E85 tune. So I could be wrong about that, but I definitely know it's 400. So, you know, dealing with another tune, and then the multi-port injection, I think he charges you extra for the fact that you're not tuned regularly. You're tuned for multi-port injection rather than direct injection. The second thing I had a con about was simply the fact that when I paid the $700, I had an assumption that Ed was tuning my car, and Ed didn't tune my car. It was Nick Turner. Nick Turner was a person that Ed brought on, a new tuner that Ed brought on, because he couldn't deal with the load of volume of tunes by himself. So he brought somebody on who was highly experienced, and nothing bad about Nick. Shout out to Nick Turner, because he actually is the one who tuned the car, and the car runs great. So other than that, no issues with EQT. I love the car. The car drives great. Now let's get into the pros. This thing is a riot to drive. All right. So for instance, I'll give you a little bit of a taste. I'm on public road, so I'll give you a taste of what I'm doing. All right. So hang on. We'll like pass, just cruise a little bit. All right. All right. So. All right. So this is like second gear. It's gonna spin, but. Fast. Now that's around, now he did dial my tune back. I was over 30 PSI, but now it's at around 28, which is fine. The car holds that 28 pounds of boost. It's not how much peak boost you make, it's how long you can keep that boost and where in the rev range that boost is distributed. So, wow, with that being great, and fast car. I'm curious of what this makes, and you know, you will be seeing a dyno day video soon of how much horsepower this car makes. Now I don't know how much it makes, but it's definitely, it's not going to be the 500, right? I'm not expecting it to be 500 because again, I'm not running E30, I'm not running type of ethanol. I have everything else done though. I have the correct turbo on the car. I have the built bottom end. I have the fuel pumps. I have the charge pipes. I have everything else needed to ensure that this is what it should be as far as like power. But that E30 definitely would bump you over the top. So my guess is around 450, 460 wheel. Now everyone's gonna be like, oh, you did all that and you only make 460? Let me put something in perspective for you guys. 460 wheel horsepower, if it does make that, is a lot of power. The car weighs 3,100 pounds. So when you think about that, as far as like what I'm setting up the car for, which is more circuit racing, you got to understand that that's more than enough, and more than enough to manage and handle. So yeah, so I'm gonna give you guys one more rip before closing this video. On that note, guys, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to JR14. Make sure you hit the notification bell. And you guys always remember, when we got the Project Mark 7 with a fully built motor and all these components finally tuned correctly, you guys always remember that cars are a lifestyle.